SGA once again. Little hesitation. The left hand. What a move by SGA.
Another block.
Chet Holmgren, the long arm of the law.
In the game. These are key minutes without SGA. And another drive. J. Dom cocks it back and throws it down.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is going on? And welcome to the Uncontested Podcast. Coming to you live Saturday, May 3rd. I just realized it's May 3rd. That's not a great day for the state of Oklahoma.
But tomorrow's
that's
May
how
4th.
you want to start this show?
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got my guy, Justin Peabody here.
Hello, everybody.
We got TP, Taylor Peterson.
I'm excited, guys. Round 2. With all due respect to the Memphis Grizzlies, it feels like the playoffs are really beginning for the Thunder. And
About time.
very excited.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, as you guys are tuning into the show, I'd like to let you know that we are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and the friends over at Prairie Artisan Ales. Look at you guys.
For the
brand.
Virtual cheers.
We also are on all social media channels. You should follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube. Click that little bell button. See us when we go live, which will be tomorrow, Sunday night. We'll do a live show, and then late night Monday, we're doing a post game pod, boys.
Game one.
Back to back. What's that? A Tega Baba? Third night of a back to back?
It's a Tina Baba.
Ah, there we go.
Tina Baba. Tina Baba.
Don't bring Tina into this.
What Tina do to you?
You can also join our Patreon by scanning the QR code in the top left corner of the YouTube screen, or you can also find the link in our pod description. It's just patreon.com/theuncontested. Doing that gets you access to our Discord. It gets you special uncontested perks. The other night, we all hopped on Discord and did a live virtual watch party of Game 6 of the Nuggets-Clippers series. It was a good time. With all that being said, I have an echo. Do you guys hear me? Do you hear an echo?
Nope. Actually,
okay.
So I heard an echo earlier,
No.
and Justin told me I had no echo. So I think we're good.
I think
You
it's
guys are
Justin.
having a stroke.
It's Justin's fault. Anyways,
Rumbles back here snoring.
Or it could be my
that.
fault.
yes. Hey, Nuggets, bring your ass. A Thurga Baba.
Thurga Baba. I like that. You don't like
Hey,
that. I like that.
If you're in the YouTube chat tonight, make sure to get your comments in. If you're watching this video after it's been live, leave a comment on your thoughts because we are previewing round 2, Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets smacked the Clippers in Game 7. Congratulations, Denver. Hop on that plane. Come down to Oklahoma City. Where
Wheels up, buddy.
9 days.
Better learn OKC, buddy.
Better learn OKC, buddy. All right. Hey, we did a round 1 preview pod that feels like freaking forever ago. I feel like
really
I
was.
don't even know who's on this team anymore. We're going to follow that same outline for round 2. So we're going to start with just a quick overview of the Thunder versus Nuggets series from the regular season. 4 games. They went 2-2. First game of the season, the Thunder smacked the Nuggets 102-87. Everybody remembers that game. They remember the Chet game. It was
The
incredible.
long arm of the law.
It's incredible. About 2 weeks later, the Thunder went up to Denver again, lost 122-124. Going to be real honest with you guys, I don't remember much of that one. Then on March 9th, on a Sunday, the Nuggets came to Oklahoma City, and the Thunder thoroughly dismantled them, 127-103. Then the next night, a Monday night, they played again in Oklahoma City, where the Nuggets shot unbelievably well, beat the Thunder 140-127. A few other stats I want to share from that series. Some advanced stats for the Thunder. Well, sorry, not some advanced stats. There's some basic stats. 2-2 on the series. The Thunder shot 46% from the field, 35% from three, averaged 19 free throw attempts a game, which is pretty high for OKC. So that's, you like to see that. And then as far as individual players, Shai averaged 35, 6.5, a steal, and 2.5 blocks a game. J-Dub averaged 26, 6, and 1.5 steals. Dub shot 47, 40, 30, or not 34, 74% from the floor. Chet averaged 15, 9, 2 assists, and 3 blocks. Hartenstein was really, really good in this series. Just a lot of fun stuff. The Thunder performed pretty well against the Nuggets during the regular season as far as like individual stats. Any new context that we need to know about the Nuggets now that it's been 2 months since the Thunder last played them?
So correct me if I'm wrong, because again, this is all off the top of my head as well. We're going straight after the Clippers Nuggets game. But how many of those 4 games did we have the double bigs fully available? I feel like it was,
I think 2.
Two?
Those
last 2 March games. The first 2, it was just Chet because it was early in the season before his injury and Ihart was still out. So that's interesting. And then I think
there hasn't been a lot of health all around. That second game, Jacob, you said you didn't remember a whole lot. I was going through in the second half of tonight's game and looking at the old matchups. That game was the Thunder's first loss of the season, and it was the game in which Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray didn't play.
Oh,
and so the Thunder were coming off like the blowout, and then those 2 guys were announced they were out, and they're like, okay, cool, this is a win. And then Russell Westbrook went off, and who else was it? Peyton Watson had a big game, and Christian Brown. And like, what are you going to do about that?
interesting.
yep.
Yeah. So there's been
the
some
other,
weirdness in this series, to your point.
And
For
then
sure.
the back-to-back as well.
yeah.
in the
that
back.
last-
The other big
first last
context
2.
is new coach.
Yep.
That's a big recent development.
That's a big one.
Now 2 for 2, the Thunder playing playoff opponents who fired their coach in April.
That's interesting. I didn't think
Very.
of that. They couldn't
So-
go 3 of 3 though.
I was
But
going to
they-
say, so that means who's getting fired during this next series to
That'd
make
be
it 3 for 3.
They'd have to get
British
fired, but their team still
back-to-back.
wins.
Like
So
they go
that's
down, they go down 3-0. They fire their coach, and then they come back and win.
No, it would have to be like the coach like murdered somebody
Or
like,
that.
was caught drunk
Yeah,
driving or
that
something like
that too. Yeah. The other context that I think is worth mentioning, the MVP versus the MVP runner-up is going to be a fun battle to watch.
Shai getting a trophy in front of Nikola Jokić is
Yes.
Should.
kind of sick.
With a former OKC MVP on the other team.
Not just
That's
a
right.
former, the last person to lift an MVP trophy in that
That's a
building.
great point.
Yep.
Yep.
We'll
Very
get
cool.
we'll get to him.
A lot of narratives.
We'll
lot
get
of
to him.
narratives. Russ has
right,
been
gentlemen.
playing great for them lately. That's probably new context because that's a recent revelation for the Nuggets. But Russ has been
Oh
awesome.
yeah. Meet Alex Caruso, buddy.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right. We have a handful of things I want to run through for this preview, and then we can retouch on them again tomorrow night. But first, let's talk Thunder offense versus Denver defense. We're talking big themes, matchups, lineups we want to see, et cetera, et cetera. Justin, I'm going to come to you first. When you look at this Thunder offense going up against the Denver Nuggets defense, what are you looking at? What are you looking for?
Barbecue chicken. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
The Nuggets defense is bad, and they've been pretty bad all year long. Their defensive
Nuggets
rating
were
is
21st in defensive rating.
Yep.
Sorry.
Nope, I was literally just about to say that. So that's great. They 115.1 defensive rating. They don't have the athletes to keep up with OKC. They don't have anybody that can slow down Shai consistently. I think if, heading into tonight's game 7, the Clippers have the personnel to at least slow Shai down, which is a rightful concern because Shai's the head of this thing. Denver does not. Denver does not have what it takes to shut Shai down for a series. I think that's going to be huge.
Who gets the Shai assignment, Justin?
Everyone. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a committee. I think they're going to throw a lot of doubles at him.
Okay.
I think you're going to see them employing that strategy. I think they're going to throw zone out there to try to mess things up and get Shai off his rhythm. That's the best you can hope for, is to get Shai off his rhythm.
But when it's like ISO one-on-one time, they got to throw a guy at Shai. Like, this is who we're going to use. Who is it?
It's either Aaron Gordon or Peyton Watson, right?
I was going to say,
I don't think Peyton's going to play much.
I don't think Peyton's going to play much either.
I think we see some more Peyton this round because
I disagree.
Justin's point.
I think it's Aaron Gordon.
I think it's Aaron Gordon. I think, yeah, man. Like, can Russ still guard? Could Russ?
No.
I don't think so either.
Christian Brown.
I'm just looking up and down their roster of like, who else could you throw at Shai? And there's not a lot of good answers.
And Russ doesn't start.
Right.
So
correct.
I think it's
Aaron
Gordon.
He has been closing.
Yes. So Taylor, if it's Aaron Gordon on Shai, the next one down is J-Dub. Who guards J-Dub?
Oh man.
Jokić.
The best option there in that starting lineup is the best option Christian Brown.
I think it has to be because of the length, and he's had success in small stints. Right. And then
hook him.
It's not even that as much as it allows Dub to be able to not only get to his spots, but the spots aren't there when he's driving to the rim. You're going to have so many open teammates. You're going to be able to kick out to the open Chets and the open Lou Dortz or the Isaiah Joes or whoever's in the game at that point. And I think that's a huge advantage for the Thunder offensively.
Yep. I totally agree. So I think it's easy to say that every matchup, you're probably looking at that of like who on the other team can stop Shai. But I just think the Nuggets especially, they're not deep. They don't play a lot of guys. And there's nobody in the group that they do play that I think you feel great about throwing out there. So they're going to have to do it as a group effort. They're going to have to do it schematically to try to get the ball out of his hands and make other guys beat you. And I just don't know if they can.
Now, Justin, you were talking about zone.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing is Jokić is not a rim defender. The Thunder are going to attack the front of the rim.
He doesn't play a lot in the middle, though, when they go zone. They usually stick him out on a wing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is when it's man, the Thunder are attacking the front of the rim every time. The zone is designed to collapse the paint and force you to kick out to shooters. I think when we talk Thunder offense versus Denver defense, I think Denver's best defensive strategy is going to be running that zone and trying to not let the Thunder live in the paint where the Nuggets are going to get cooked because of lack of rim protection. Yeah. And so that is going to then really call on the Thunder to hit open jump shots off collapsing that zone and then kicking out.
Yep. And then also
the other way you beat a zone, sorry, Taylor, the other way you beat a zone is you attack the middle of that zone, either with a dribble drive or with a pass to the free throw line.
Correct. That's where I was getting at.
Thunder have a ton of guys who can drive, and they got a pretty good guy you can pass to at the free throw line to facilitate offense. And then whenever you get the ball to the free throw line, the zone turns their head towards the ball right in the middle, and that's where you get backdoor cuts.
Exactly.
This team's pretty damn good at backdoor cuts.
And then just get the I heart floater.
That too, right? I mean, I think we talked about this last week, and Jacob, you've kind of have been on this, but if we're playing the Clippers, if the Thunder are playing the Clippers, or if the Thunder are playing the Nuggets, the different lineups, and especially the starting lineups that we would see, I think they go double big again. And I think the double big lineup matches up, if we're talking offense especially, matches up really great for that for the Nuggets defense. And we did see the Nuggets have success this series, especially late in the series against the Clippers when they went to that zone, especially tonight, forcing players to make shots, which they just weren't able to do. James Harden cooled off, Kawhi cooled off. Imagine that. Old players late in the series starting to cool off. Shocker. Derek Jones
That's
Jr.
why I wanted the Clippers to win the
Shocker.
series, though. They looked so gassed.
They looked gassed. And the Nuggets do look a little bit more energized, I
A
think.
little bit, but I appreciate the Clippers going on, what was it, like a 14-0 run late to keep some of the Nuggets starters in. I was worried they were going to get to take the second half off the way things were trending.
But I think the key here when we're talking about Thunder's offense, first, the Denver's defense is just what you guys mentioned. They don't have the personnel to guard this team straight up, even though they will try to, obviously, throughout some of the series. But when you go to that zone, having a player like iHeart or a creator, even we might see some J-Will this series, being able to go to that free throw line and be able to create for teammates, either to spray out to the three-point shooters or, to Jacob's point, find those backdoor cuts is huge. And then also, I mean, Shai, I think you mentioned it, Jacob, and I have these stats pulled up. Shai has been fantastic, if I can find my browser, against the Nuggets this series, as has J-Dub. 30.3 points per game, 6.5 assists, 5 rebounds. I think Shai's going to have a very big series. I think him and Dub are going to be able to get to their spots against this defense. I think that's huge.
Totally agree. Let's flip the coin. Thunder defense versus the Denver offense. Do you guys mind if I kick us off here real quick?
Sure.
Because I have some big thoughts here. Denver's got some interesting guys. They're going to play 7 dudes, maybe 8. That's going to be their starting lineup of Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokić. Off the bench, you've got Russell Westbrook will play big minutes. Peyton Watson will play medium minutes. DeAndre Jordan, in the year of our Lord 2025, is going to play second-round playoff minutes, maybe 5 per game.
Right.
Maybe, yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. is a dude who can get hot. I want to pull this up real quick just so we have this correct.
While you do that, Porter tonight was actually pretty solid. 15.6 rebounds, 6 of 11 from the floor, only 3 of 8 from 3. Obviously battling that shoulder strain that he currently has.
Pad on his shoulder.
Yeah, he had a literal shoulder pad on there. That's not a good sign.
Yep. Here's Michael Porter Jr. for that series. 10 points, 6 rebounds, almost an assist. Shot 44% from the field, 46% from 3, 62% from the free throw line. So my point is, Michael Porter Jr. can shoot the ball, but he was only scoring 10 points a night. Okay. Christian Brown, this series shot 25% from 3. Russell Westbrook shot 40% from 3. Take that
bonkers
for as it will. But here's the thing. When you look at scoring from the Nuggets, from that first series, it goes Jokić at 25, Murray at 24, Gordon at 18. Then you got Russ at 13, Brown at 11, Porter at 10, Peyton Watson at 4. The entire, can guys get hot? Yes. The entire offensive structure for the Denver Nuggets revolves around 2 guys, Nikola Jokić and Jamal Murray. Now, can you shut down Jokić? No, you cannot. I like the Thunder's plan of using Isaiah Hartenstein on him and then rotating over Chet Holmgren on the weak side. But I think for the Nuggets to not only win the series, but to win a game, they need those 2 guys to have high volume, efficient nights.
Agreed completely.
This is why I prefer the Nuggets over the Clippers. Michael Porter Jr. is not creating for himself. Christian Brown, not creating for himself. Aaron Gordon, maybe a tad. The Thunder get to pin their ears back and go straight at Jamal Murray. Like, there's only so much you can do with Jokić, but if Jokić wants to go for 60 a night, you let him, and you cut off Murray, you cut off the rest of the guys. Lou Dort's going to get that assignment. J-Dub will get some minutes there. Caruso will get minutes there. Cason Wallace will get minutes there. And those are dudes that are just going to make that guy's life freaking hell. And I think that is, defensively, that is the story of this series. It's not what can the Thunder do with Joker. Like, because there's only so much you can do with Joker. the question is, what can you do with Jamal?
Exactly.
And if you can force Jamal into low efficiency and just get his ass, you're in great shape.
And I think that's what OKC did in that first of the back-to-back games. Those are the only two that Jamal had played in of the 4 this season, right? Or am I wrong? No, he played in the one. I take it back. He played in the one in October as well. So the first game, the first game in Oklahoma City of that back-to-back back in March, Jamal had 17 points in 42 minutes. He shot 35% from the floor. He had a turnover and 4 assists, compared to the one on the second night of the back-to-back, 34 points on 50% shooting, 43% from behind the arc. He had 0 turnovers and 6 assists. I think exactly. And like Jokić had pretty good lines, right? Like Jokić is going to Jokić. It's exactly to your point, Jacob. It's kind of like the conversation that we just had about how do you stop Shai? You can't. It's the same with Jokić. So taking those two guys off the table, what else you got? And if Oklahoma City can contain Jamal Murray, force turnovers, and force him into bad shots, that's the key to success for this series.
Absolutely. Well, and what's interesting, Justin, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, and with the guys they have around them and the shortened lineup that they're playing, I think that becomes a little bit easier than it does if the Nuggets are a deeper team, just quite frankly.
The depth is what I wanted to talk on as well.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
Jacob, you had
Taylor, and I'll kind of lob this over to you. I think Justin brings up a good point, and you can't really stop Joker. You can't really stop Shai. Okay, so let's take the best Shai defender on Denver is Aaron Gordon. So let's remove Shai and Aaron Gordon, right? So Aaron Gordon can't guard anybody else. Let's take Shai out of the equation. The best defender for Joker is iHeart. So let's take Joker out of the equation. iHeart can't defend anybody else. Then we get to who are the next guys? Who are the next guys for the Thunder, Taylor, after Shai?
You got J-Dub and Chet. Easy.
And who is going to guard those guys when Aaron Gordon cannot? It's going to be Christian Brown, and it's going to be Michael Porter Jr.
Yep. I love those matchups for OKC on the offensive side of the ball.
Yes.
And the defensive side, but flip side.
Flip side. When it's not Jokić, who are the top 2 guys after that for the Nuggets?
Jamal Murray, which we discussed, and then it's often a toss-up this season because Michael Porter Jr. has been inconsistent at times, but it's either MPJ or Aaron Gordon, right?
Okay, and
Christian can do it, but
who's going to defend those two?
So Aaron Gordon, you probably have Chet on him, and then Dub on Christian Brown or MPJ. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and then Dort gets Jamal Murray.
I
feel way better about the Thunder's options after option 1 and the matchups than I do about Denver and Denver's matchup.
I agree.
After option 1.
One other key thing, and I agree with everything you guys said. I think you guys nailed it. And that's what I want to see from this Thunder team, right? Is Jokić is going to do his things. Don't help too much on Jokić because, like Justin mentioned, like when getting into passing lanes and getting deflections and steals, pushing the pace and transition, that's when this Thunder team is at their best. So, like what we saw with the Clippers, when you're doubling Jokić, he's able to kick out to shooters, and you see a game like tonight where his role players like MPJ, Christian Brown are able to get hot.
Yep.
We saw that throughout the series. But that being said, I think we do need to talk about when we're talking about the Thunder's defense against this Nuggets offense. We need to talk about how the Thunder can defend Jokić. I understand maybe Zubac was quote unquote the best defender for a potential Jokić, matchup, like so many national media wanted to talk about. We just talked about iHeart being able to guard him. Again, straight up is a little generous, but being able to survive with that. But then you have Chet roaming off the backside, being able to kind of play that free safety role and get those blocks and double him down low if you need to. Then the Thunder have the ability to be able to go small. You can have J-Dub. If you switched on to him, he'll be able to to guard Jokić to an extent and be able to make life difficult for him. We've seen Caruso be able to guard up, not just with the Thunder, but throughout his entire career with guys like Cat and some of those players. There's just so many. Lou Dort, we've seen him have the Jokić assignment in the past when the Thunder have played the Nuggets. There's so many different looks. None of them are necessarily 100% effective, but being able to throw those different looks at a player, like we talked about last series with Triple J, for example, even though they're different players, I think that's a huge advantage for this Thunder team when you're guarding a player like Nikola Jokić, who, like you guys mentioned, is basically unstoppable.
Two things
this type of matchup. This type of matchup is a big reason why you pick up Hart in the offseason. Not this matchup specifically, but like this is what the Thunder needed.
This is where that money. This is where that money comes.
Earn that check.
Two things on the Thunder defense, Taylor, that I love that you were kind of getting there for me. You almost got me.
Almost got there. Oh boy.
Number one, Joker is a heliocentric player that everything else revolves around. Round 2 last year. Luka is a heliocentric player that all things revolve around. Last year, the Thunder dared the role players to beat them, and they blitzed Luka. Be interested to see if that's the strategy again when you face another heliocentric offensive player. 2, the Thunder very clearly like Chet as the weak side defender who can rotate over on Jokić versus guarding him straight up. We've seen Chet guard him straight up in first game of the season. But I think back to last year, the Thunder loved to put J. Will in there. Let J. Will just go blow for blow and really absorb the contact from Jokić, and then let Chet be the weak side guy. And then this year with Isaiah Hartenstein, it's the same idea. That's going to be really interesting. I wonder how much one-on-one Chet on Jokić we get, because to me it is very clear that the Thunder prefer Chet to be the weak side guy to rotate over and bother Jokić at the rim and have those crazy long arms and passing lanes versus letting Chet guard Jokić one-on-one.
Spot on. And when you do need to double team him, Ihart and Chet doubling Jokić in comparison to some of the players that the Clippers could throw at him for a double team. I mean, then you still have your perimeter defenders on the perimeter to be able to, like we just talked about, being able to get those deflections and steals. Like, that is a lethal combination, which is why I think we see quite a bit of the double big lineup. Yep. But I'm curious to your guys' thoughts while we're still talking defense. If the Thunder do go smaller and we go to the quote unquote like death lineups that we've talked about, right? With Caruso, Dub, Kaysen, or like, you throw those three out with both Shai and who's the other one? Dort. What do we think that looks like against a team like the Nuggets?
I think you pull that out late in the game when the Nuggets are gassed because they're only playing 7 guys and Jokić is, on minute 43 and he's had no games off or, 1 day off for the entirety of the playoffs. You break out that small ball lineup and push the pace and he's going to be sucking wind.
Yep.
Not just him, probably everybody on the Nuggets. And the Thunder can use their youth and their speed in that small ball lineup to take advantage.
We've seen what that does. I mean, in that game 6, how many layups did the Nuggets miss in the fourth quarter? Just short arm and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so we've talked Thunder offense versus Nuggets defense. We've talked Thunder defense versus Nuggets offense. Guys, 3 big X factors in the series. One has to be a bench player. We're going to go, since we're going 3, we're not going 3-piece. We're going 3 for each of us. But the biggest X factors in this series, and a quick explanation why we have to have at least one bench player. Justin, I'm going to let you go first on X factor.
I'm going to go with Isaiah Hartenstein in this series. I think Hart, like I alluded to earlier, this is why you get Hartenstein in the offseason, is for a matchup like this. An opportunity to put a big body on Jokić, put Chet in that weak side roaming type of role and allow him to, be that last line of defense and come over and help when necessary. I think that puts the Thunder in a totally different position in this matchup than without Hartenstein. So I think seeing what he can do on both ends of the floor against Jokić in this matchup, again, that game in March, the first one that the Thunder won, don't fact check me, but it felt like Hart had like 6 lobs that he had in that one. So you're getting Chet in that like weak side role on defense, but I felt like on offense, the Thunder were able to find Hartenstein just kind of like cutting to the basket on the backside and catching an oop over and over and over against this Nuggets defense. I think he's going to have an opportunity on both ends of the floor to make his presence felt.
I like that one a lot.
Okay, so we got Hartenstein as one of the X factors. Taylor, who's your X factor in the series?
I'm going back to my guy. Same X factor as last series. Jalen Williams, J-Dub. 23.3 points per game last series on 18 field goal attempts, shot 54% from the floor, only 28.6% from 3. But his assists were incredible, 5.3 assists per game, only had 1.5 turnovers, had 1.5 steals per game. He was doing a little bit of everything. Like we've talked so much, when Shai either doesn't have it going or when he's off the floor. I mean, I keep saying this, and I said it earlier today on the Sports Animal, but like the best lineup for the Thunder last series was when Shai was off the floor, and it was J-Dub, Caruso, and Kaysen leading that charge. J-Dub's ability to play both ways, but the balance that he played with offensively last series, being able to still create for his teammates, but also get to his spots, I think is going to be huge yet again when all the focus is going to be on Shai. Because if guys like J-Dub especially leading the charge, but also Chet have it going, and the role players are able to hit shots for a couple of games this series, when you're focusing everything defensively on Shai, there's no way you can beat this team outside of injuries. And so for me, J-Dub has to be another X factor yet again this series, and really throughout the rest of the playoffs.
Totally agree. And then J-Dub had an awesome first round series last year.
Yep.
And then where he really fell off was round 2.
Yep.
You're about to be all NBA, buddy. Like, this is your time.
Yep. And let's not forget, again, something I had forgotten as I went and revisited the regular season matchups. That second game of the back-to-back in March, J-Dub got hurt at halftime.
That's a good point.
He had like 16 points in the first half, and the Thunder were up by 7 at halftime of that game. He goes out and totally changed the pace for this game.
Absolutely.
So he is a very important part of this team's success against Denver.
All right, you guys took Hartenstein and J-Dub. I said we needed 3 X factors. One had to be
off the bench.
Do you even have to ask?
Caruso.
You said there's a reason why you brought in Hartenstein. There's a reason why you brought in Alex Caruso, and you saw why in round 1. You're going to see why in round 2. Caruso's going to come in, and he's going to guard a little bit of everybody. But the main 2 guys he's going to see time on is Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook. And that is going to be freaking incredible. He, per minute in the playoffs, he leads the league in deflections, and it's not even close. He's just going to bring that bulldog mentality. He's going to be everywhere. If you get what you get from Caruso in round 1, in round 2, I think the Thunder win the series. I think it's just as simple as that. I just think the Thunder win the series.
And we've talked about the Thunder's depth in comparison to the 7.5 players that the Nuggets will presumably be playing this series. When you still have those starters out on the floor, or a combination of those stars out on the floor for the Nuggets, and then the Thunder are able to throw out Kaysen Wallace and Alex Caruso off the bench, that's how you wear those guys down after a 7-game series against the Clippers.
In the first round, Caruso scored 7 points a game on 45-39 splits, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.5 steals, a plus 11 off the bench. I mean, that's
good.
That's insane.
Pretty good.
That's insane.
I hope that offensive output stays there for Caruso, because that's important too. But that goes for all the Thunder role players.
That's something I was going to mention is, again, not surprising just based on when the games fell in the season, but the first 2 games of the regular season series against the Nuggets, Caruso was a combined 1 of 10 from the floor because he was shooting like garbage to shoot the season. The second 2 matchups combined, he was 8 of 13 from the floor. So nice. much different offensive contributions. I think that's a big part of his impact for sure.
An honorable mention, a wild card here. In the 4 regular season games, Aaron Wiggins, 10 points on 55, 42, 100 splits, also 5 rebounds. Wiggins had posted a plus 13.7 in his 20 minutes a game, a 112 offensive rating, and a 98 defensive rating. That defensive rating is very obviously with Jokic off the floor. I wonder if this is going to be an Aaron Wiggins series, possibly.
It's a good point.
I don't know.
Very interesting. Yeah, he kind of fell out of the rotation, and for the reasons we talked about over the past 2 weeks, largely because of the defense. And so if you are focusing on that and trying to wear this team out, maybe you don't see a lot of Wiggins. But if he comes in the second quarter and he's hot to start the game, kind of like we saw game 1 against the Grizzlies, like that's a game you probably keep Wiggins in.
Agreed.
So it's interesting.
All right, gentlemen, we've done our 3 X factors. Now I want to go 3 biggest worries in the series. It could be matchups, lineups, coaching, schemes, whatever. Taylor, I'm coming to you first this time. What is your biggest worry headed into this series?
Thunder 3-point shooting. It's been when the Thunder have struggled this season throughout the regular season. It's been largely due to the 3-point shooting discrepancy, and we saw it again in the first series against the Grizzlies. They're able to survive those 2 games on the road when they shot especially poorly. But even for the series, I think they were only like 35% from 3 or something like that. I talked about how great J-Dub was, for example, but I rattled off his 3-point stat or his three-point stat earlier. It was like 28% from 3. Chet's obviously been much better from 3. That needs to continue. And then, like the guys we mentioned, we haven't talked about Isaiah Joe coming off the bench, but role players like that are going to have to be able to space the floor because the Nuggets are going to do everything they can, as much as they can, to be able to limit the Thunder in the paint. So if that's the case, you're able to hit some of those threes early in a game. I mean, again, there's no reason you shouldn't win. So the 3-point shooting for me is going to be the biggest swing, especially when it comes to the Thunder playing on the road in this series.
My biggest worry is Nikola Jokić.
Yeah, that's super fair.
It feels like low-hanging fruit, but I'd be remiss if we didn't touch on it. Jokić can win this series.
Mm-hmm.
Just like any superstar can. A lot of times playoff series come to the best player on the floor, and it's hard to find many that are better than Jokić. Jokić in the regular season matchups was 3 assists away from a triple-double in all 4 games. He had 35, 18, and 8 in the final matchup. He had 24, 13, and 9 in the one right before that. And then if you rewind to the games early in the season, 23, 20, and 16, 16,
Goodness.
12, and 13. As Jokić goes, so the Nuggets go. That's not new news.
And you've got to keep him off the boards, I think, when we talk about that double big lineup. That's going to be huge. Also, Justin, this sounds silly, but like to your point, and like Jacob alluded to earlier in the podcast, seeing Shai lift that MVP trophy during the series. I mean, we all joke about Jokic just wanting to go and, like ride horses and stuff in the offseason. He's a super competitive player. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And that's going to fire him up.
And
You know who else it's going to fire up?
his brothers.
and this guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love
so
that.
One
TP
Jacob versus 2 Jokic brothers. Who are we taking?
joke's on them. I got a gun. Hey,
You don't think they do too?
They got like switchblades and
if I'm putting together my team of 100 men to fight the gorilla, I think the Jokic brothers are on my team.
Yeah, absolutely. First pick,
No, I don't know about first pick, buddy.
put them up in Loud City, please.
dude. So yeah. I mean, like I said, it's an easy pick, but
I just thought of a really good meme I have to post later.
oh boy,
Should I tell you it?
Yes.
We need somebody on the gorilla fighting team that is like the you remember the video from like the UFC fight where the guy's like, grab his dick and twist it. That's what we need against the gorilla.
honestly, no, I have no idea what you're talking
You've
about.
never seen this before?
You've seen this.
You've seen it.
The old dick twist. You've seen
No.
this. I know you've seen. Oh my god.
Someone in chat, please drop the link ASAP.
That seems like a terrible tactic, though,
Oh
against
my
a gorilla.
gosh.
That seems like it's just gonna piss him off.
Yeah,
and-
I
No,
agree.
that's how you win. Okay.
That's how you lose an arm.
We've got Thunder. Well, everyone's gonna lose an arm. in a gorilla
that's a
fight.
Draymond Green tactic right there.
Oh
Absolutely.
my gosh.
Draymond Green's gonna be doing that to himself at home after tomorrow night. Taylor took the Thunder's 3-point shooting. Justin went with Nikola Jokić. Guys, I can't stop thinking about the comparison of this second round and last year's second round.
Hmm.
Teams from a city that starts with the letter D.
Yes, getting deep.
Teams with heliocentric offensive players. Teams, I don't know, that might be as far as it goes. But
that we're blue.
Yeah, there we go.
The heliocentrism of the offense, though, is where I keep coming back to. The Thunder did not lose against Denver to Dallas because of Luka. They lost to Denver because of PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr.
Yep.
Justin, I totally agree with your point. I don't know if the Thunder lose the series because of Jokić. I think the Thunder lose the series when guys like Russ and Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon go like supernova from 3. So I'm going the inverse of Justin, and the Thunder can't let role players get hot and get confident and win some games.
Agreed.
If you can keep the cap on those other guys, I think you win the series. So that would be my X factor. All right, guys, as we kind of wind down here, 3 more things, and then we'll get some more thoughts on tomorrow night's podcast. Justin, finish this phrase. Denver wins the series if
Jamal Murray gets to cook.
Okay. Taylor, Denver wins the series if
Shai is still inefficient from the floor, even if he's still able to get to his spots.
Okay. I will go Denver wins the series if the role players get hot.
Agreed.
Flip side, Justin.
Especially from 3.
Yes.
Emphasis there.
Justin, flip side. Thunder win the series if
They can make shots.
I
Yeah.
like it. Taylor, Thunder win the series if
There's a lot of options. I've already talked about J-Dub. So let's say Chet looks more like the Chet we saw this first round of the series and is even more healthy and has more of his legs under him heading into the series.
I like it. The Thunder win the series if they exceed the physicality of the Nuggets.
I like that.
If Lou, if Hart, if AC get the chance, Kaysen, if they get the chance to play their physical brand of basketball, I think the Thunder win.
Yeah, if they tighten up the whistle in this series,
That's
that
bad
could
news.
that could be an issue.
Yep.
The officiating inconsistency has just been, it makes me so mad. Like just even the past week when Thunder haven't played, I think that's a good point. Something to watch this series.
2 more things. First, bets. We did this in round 1. We're doing it again in round 2. This cannot be a Thunder win the series in 6 statement. This is like a niche, like prop bet type of thing. I'm not going to call on you. You just, whenever you're ready to go, tell us and fire off your bet. But all 5 of us are going to make a bet for the second round. What is your guys' niche prop bet for round 2?
I'll go first because I was the only person to not have my bet come to fruition
Okay.
in the first round. It's I took a swing, a Chet or a Hart 2020 game. That was I took a big swing. I'm going to take a smaller swing in round 2. I'm going to say that J-Dub will be the leading scorer in one of the games in this series. For reference, though we talked about Shai not being efficient, Shai was the leading scorer for the Thunder in every game in the Memphis series, except for Wiggins in the first game of the series, bizarrely. Dub's been great. Shai has struggled lately. Does anyone know the last time J-Dub was the leading scorer for this team?
Oh, man.
I don't want to guess.
February.
It's not that long ago.
Sometime
No,
in
I was
March,
just
when this team
curious.
is kind of struggling a little bit, but I'm not sure what game.
It was April 9th at Phoenix. Lowly
Shai didn't play.
Phoenix because Shai didn't
They didn't play. Huh.
Before that, it was the Houston loss in Houston, where he scored 33 to Shai's 22. The last time before that was March 2nd at San Antonio.
Wow.
Point being, if Shai's playing, it doesn't happen very often. And I think that's probably not news to anybody. But I think you're going to see J-Dub, like you said, Jacob, last year in the second round was not his greatest performance. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's got a big opportunity to bring it in round 2.
So when you're saying Dub will be the top scorer in one game, is that Thunder scorer or top of the game?
I was thinking Thunder score, yes.
Okay. Taylor, you got a bet?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about J-Dub as well. I thought about like 2 30-plus point games. I thought about getting super spicy with the Dub 40 piece. But I'll switch it up and go back to Chet Holmgren. And not the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball. I think he will have at least 2 games this series with 4 or more blocks.
Okay. 2 games of 4 more blocks. My bet, I don't have one ready. I'm going to cook it up live right here on the show. I see the smoke start coming out of my ears. I am going to go. Should I do an Alex Caruso bet?
Yes, you should.
Should I do a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander bet?
That's true. We don't have a Shai one.
Which one should I do?
I'm torn. Which one's better?
Caruso.
I don't know. Caruso bet. Okay.
He doesn't know yet because he has no idea what the bet is.
I think these games are going to be ones where the starters play like to the final buzzer. I don't think there's going to be like a 30-point blowout. Caruso's closing on the floor every game.
Knew exactly where your head was going.
When the final buzzer
Love
goes
it.
off, Alex Caruso is one of the 5 on the floor.
I love that.
I do too.
I'll buy that.
That's what I got. All right. Question. Do we want to make our like us 3 make our prediction now, or do we want to save it for tomorrow night?
Save it.
Yeah, we'll do it together.
Oh, little
Gotta
teaser.
tune in
Little
next
tease.
time on Dragon Ball Z.
We give you a little bit, but you got to come back for more.
It's good
Keeps
sales
people
tactic.
going.
That's a great show, guys. Super excited for round 2, Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Time.
8:30.
8:30 Central Time.
Lots of
Both
late games
Oklahoma City
for sport
tips and
games.
8:30.
Yeah.
Here's what the Uncontested has on deck for you guys. Sunday night, 9 p.m. podcast. Monday, Thunder Nuggets, 8:30 p.m. Immediately following the game, post-game show right here on the Uncontested YouTube channel, then immediately uploaded to your pod feed. Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. tip. Immediately afterwards, live podcast here on the Uncontested YouTube channel. Friday, the Thunder play Game 3 in Denver, 9 p.m. Central start time. We're live right after with the post-game pod. Sunday, Mother's Day, the team plays at 2:30?
Correct.
2:30.
2:30. We all still have mothers. They're all still alive.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood
So,
again.
yeah,
Yikes.
they still got a week.
God.
Your
They
mom was
still-
in a car wreck here a couple weeks ago. We really got to
Yeah.
knock on wood.
It wasn't that bad.
Started with May 3rd, ending with dead moms. Love it.
My mom was in May 3rd.
That's true. You've said
Wow. Full circle.
Full
that.
circle,
Full circle.
baby. So we'll probably do like the 9 p.m. show Sunday,
Yeah.
even though the Thunder game ends at 5, because either the series doesn't end and we'll have a lot to talk about, or it's done in 4 in a sweep, and then we'll all just log on at 9 after Mother's Day and just be belligerent. One of those two things will happen.
One of those two.
Well, I guess the third option is the Thunder gets swept. If that case, we are not podcasting. Maybe
Cancel
ever
the
again.
podcast forever.
But we're still going to collect the
Shut it
Patreon
down.
money.
Famous last
sure.
words.
All right. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We will see you tomorrow, Sunday night at 9 p.m. And then Monday after game 1. And that one will be at like 11:30. What did George say?
George
said, no, my ex-wife just called me. She's getting another alligator for this.
we need Silva on
the
podcast for
uncontested
this
lore
Thunder.
goes deep.
It does.
Yes, it does.
It does.
George has become immortalized because of this podcast.
Yes. We talk about those.
I can't wait to
Sounders
meet. I
are-
can't wait to meet George in real life.
Yeah.
I
He's
hope
gotta
you're
come to a
everything
watch
I've built
party.
you up to be in my head.
I
George.
can't hear the word cream cheese without thinking
Neither
of
can
him.
I. Neither
Agreed.
can I.
Or in
Cream-
the chat.
Cream cheese
Or in the chat. Yeah.
in the chat or
This
alligators.
happened to me at work last week also,
Dude,
Justin.
yes.
Somebody mentioned
I-
cream cheese on a bagel. I was like, cream cheese in the chat from George.
I was on a work call and they were like, "Oh, I see a couple questions in the chat," and my brain-wormed, diseased mind just said, "Cream cheese in the chat from George," and my just silently on mute to myself. Ridiculous.
Oh, George says weekend playoff game coming to OKC.
Oh, let's go. Bring
Need
the
to get a
alligator.
weekend game though.
Hey, George, let us know which game you're going to be at. We will all show up and we will all bring you some Philadelphia cream cheese. I will sneak it past security.
Gross.
stick it in my
I don't want to
pants.
know how you're gonna do that. Time
Stick
to
in my
go.
pants.
Time to go.
Hey,
Shut
thank you
it
guys for
down.
tuning in. We'll see you Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Lots of pods coming up.
It's too much.
It's going to be
Lots
a
of
blast.
basketball.
Hey,
We've been off for a week. Just like the Thunder.
Basketball.
Yeah, I get so
We-
excited for that.
we are almost to round 2. I'm excited to see what the betting line is going to be for the Thunder. I can't wait to hear
Sure
what
it's
you
there.
guys, how late you guys think this series is going to go. Going to be a blast. Can't wait. See you guys Sunday, 9 p.m. Be there. And Thunder up.